Hey, that's me. It's Ringside Report MMA. Tonight on the show, we're going to preview Mackenzie Dern versus Marina Rodriguez, UFC Vegas coming up. Tyson Fury versus Deontay Wilder, trilogy fight. And should Henry Cejudo get a shot at Alex Volkanovski? And AJ's here, so, you know, let's go.
Let's go.
Yeah, that's what I said. I said, let's go. Right? Isn't that what I said? Why is that guy telling me what I said? I said, let's go. And he's like, let's go. I know, guy. That's what I just said, guy. What's up, Fred?
He's not listening, man.
Shut up, AJ. What's up, Fred? What the hell?
Whoa, what the hell, man?
Thank you for subscribing.
Welcome to...
AJ, coming up close. What's up, Freddie? How you doing, man? You good?
I'm great. You?
Yeah, man. I'm doing all right. AJ?
Good.
What's up, homeboy? Like, you're announcing me, and then you didn't mention, like, Freddie, man. You're like, and
what?
AJ. What about Freddie, man?
Well, yeah. But I know you're going to be, you know, you got trouble brewing. There's always something. There's always some angle you have. I'm trying to set up the show. I'm like, you know, we're going to do a preview. We're going to talk about boxing. We'll talk about Cejudo. And then AJ will go off on a tangent about some random bullshit. And, you know, we'll lose views and people will put the thumbs down, you know.
He'll find something to bitch about.
Yeah, exactly. He'll complain about some guy we don't know, and he'll go on and on. Like he was doing before the show, telling us his long story. Look at him. Look how mad he is right now. He's still mad about some story. I don't know. We won't get into it, AJ.
Some stupid Muay
Ah,
guy.
don't worry about it. No one cares, AJ. No one cares. UFC Vegas coming up on Saturday. I know you do. UFC Vegas coming up on Saturday. It is on Fight Pass only. And it will be starting early in the day, 1:30 p.m. Eastern time for the prelims, main card at 4 p.m. So it's an early one for Mackenzie Dern versus Marina Rodriguez. I already know where AJ is going. I don't have to ask him. We'll get to it. We'll get to our picks. Of course, Team Dave parlay did pretty well last week. Team AJ, not so much. Team Dave was perfect.
Not bad, man. I was 90% perfect, man. We were like toe-to-toe to the last fight, man.
Yeah, which you picked wrong and I picked right. You had Johnny Walker. I had Thiago Santos. Who won, AJ? Who won?
I refuse to drink Johnny Walker anymore.
Yeah, you're right, Fred. It was a terrible fight.
Listen, I told you while we were talking about that, I said the guy that's probably flipping out the most is Dana White. Like, this is supposed to be like a fight, you know, for fight fans. It's supposed to be fireworks. It's supposed to be crazy. It's Santos coming back with 2 knees. It's Johnny Walker not doing his superworm and ready to come out like a madman. And it was the most boring fight I've seen in the longest time. And a lot of people are saying, is it because like Johnny Walker went to Ireland and he's training with SBG? Did it improve him? Did it not improve him? I mean, looking at that fight, man, I was expecting Johnny Walker to come out like with flying fists of fury. And, man, the guy was stale. You know, Santos, too, were like, okay, maybe they're testing themselves out first round. Maybe testing themselves out second round, third round, fourth round. Holy shit, we're going to the 5th round, and no one committed to anything, man. Nobody was – it was just a terrible, terrible fight. And to be honest, man, it's not a great victory for Santos, in my opinion. And you know what? It wasn't a great victory for the UFC to have this as the main event, especially when you had a hyped-up name like Johnny Walker, who always came out exploding. And, man, he fizzled on this one. And he actually thought he won. That was the thing. And I said to you, Dave, I'm like, is this guy for real? Like, does he actually think he won? Like, what was his corner telling him? And apparently his corner was telling him that he was up, that this guy was up. How the hell can you be up? Like there's something wrong. You're in the fight. You should know that you're not up at all. But holy shit, man, what a terrible fight. But anyways, you know what? Everybody has some bad fights, but Dana White is definitely not. Dana White is never going to make these guys like, maybe if he has no choice, but you won't see these guys on a main event again. Johnny Walker, I think we'll see him in a fight night the next time we see him, in my opinion.
Yeah, we'll see. I don't know. I think this was more a deal where it's 2 guys that hit really hard and they didn't want to get hit by each other. You know, that happens a lot. 2 guys that just are powerful punchers and they are both very aware of the other man's power and they avoid it. So they kind of play this game of, I'll touch you and hope you make a mistake, and nobody makes a mistake, and then the fight ends. It happens in MMA.
I think that's
Fred,
that's
sorry.
pretty much what happened. I'm just going to say, man, when I look at Johnny Walker, physically, man, that guy looks like a freak, but he doesn't always bring it. That's the thing. He doesn't always, deliver. So, because physically, man, you look at his shoulders and everything, that guy is huge for 205, man, and he's built, man. He looks like a killer, and so does Santos. But, no, it wasn't a great fight. I want to see Yuri Procharak, or however you pronounce it. I want to see Rakic. I want to see Ankalaev. I want to see other guys in that division. Right now, these two guys, they didn't deliver. So, hey, they'll get another big fight, but they're not at the top of the list right now.
Yeah, I agree with you. I was not very impressed with either man after that fight. Not a great fight. But, AJ, just so we're clear, you did pick Johnny Walker last week. I know you were trying to flip-flop on some fights, right? The Kyle Daukaus, Kevin Holland fight. You picked Kevin Holland by knockout. I can actually show you AJ's parlay from last week because I still have it here. So this is AJ's parlay from last week. He went with Johnny Walker, which was a loser. He went with Kevin Holland by knockout, which did not happen. The fight ended in a no contest, but honestly, I think Daukaus probably won. Nico Price, you picked, he did win. Jotko, you picked, he did win. And Aspen Ladd, her fight never wound up happening. So that was AJ's parlay, and I could show you mine, which was a winning parlay last week, despite the one no contest. So this will be from the show last week. Check this out, guys. I had Casey O'Neill, Jotko, Daukaus, and Thiago Santos. Perfect. That's a winning parlay.
What a nice payout there. That's good money, man.
Yep.
That's
Team
good
Dave.
money.
Team Dave once again bet with us over at bet99.com. We'll give you our picks for the fight card coming up on Saturday. But AJ was chatting with me during the fights. He's like, "Oh yeah, I took Kyle Daukaus in this fight." I'm like, "No, you didn't." He's like, "Yes, I did. Yes, I did, Dave. You get your facts straight. I took Daukaus. Why would I not pick him?" And I'm like, "AJ, you took Kevin Holland by knockout. What are you talking about?" He's like, "No, you're wrong. I don't know what you're talking about." And then I brought up the spot on the show. I'm like, 49 minutes into the show. Look at your pick. And you picked Kevin Holland by knockout. So good job, AJ. That was a weird fight with Daukaus clashing heads with Holland. Holland kind of getting knocked out. But he escaped, I think it was a guillotine attempt Holland did. And then he fell to another rear naked choke. And then they ended the fight when Holland tapped out. But then afterwards they reviewed it, and they're like, well, Holland got hurt from the headbutt, so we're just going to call it a no contest. They're going to rematch in November, by the way. November 13th.
Weird, dude. That was weird. And to be honest, I really, there's no way that Holland won that fight. For sure the headbutt came in.
Holland didn't win. You mean Daukaus?
Daukaus won for sure. That fight was his to win. And I'm saying is with the headbutt and whatnot, I mean, the fight, we were talking, and the fight just kept going. I mean, there was plenty of different things that happened before he called the fight. And I told you, I said, this is going to be they're going to call this fight off. It's going to be a no contest. And boom, they did. Just because of the whole fact going back and forth and all this weird stuff, I knew something terrible was going to happen in this fight. But you know what? It was just a weird way to get to the conclusion of a no contest when there was already a lot of fighting going on between the headbutt and the end of that fight. It just didn't make sense. And to be honest, yeah, shit happens, man. Headbutts come in all the time, whatnot. But you know what? Holland didn't look good. He looked flat, in my opinion. Daukaus looked like it's a shame that he doesn't get the win on that.
Yeah.
And you know what? With your fight pick, I mean, it would have been a beautiful payout.
That would have been good, right? Because Daukaus was plus 140, the underdog. I had him on my parlay. Would have been a 4-0 parlay instead of a 3-0 with one no contest. Would have been a perfect parlay there with Daukaus. I agree. I thought that there was enough fight there after the headbutt, but things happen.
Oh, yeah, they're
gonna rematch it. But just so we're clear, AJ, you did pick Kevin Holland by knockout last week on the show.
You know why I went a little local. You know what? It's because I had a momentary lapse of reason. I went a little local because I wanted to end that segment on Thursday by saying blah 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 blah, and I think Holland is going to win by KO. But I don't think he has the power to match the grappling skills of Daukaus and whatever, blah, blah, blah. I didn't finish that part, so, that's why. That's why I got cut off.
Even though you gave, that's really not what happened. You can go back and watch the show from last week. You gave me your pick. You were like, yes, Holland by knockout. That was part of your parlay. There's no.
Not Holland. I swear to God, man, this guy, like, sometimes I just wonder. Mind you, he was practicing with DC. He looked better, like in defending some of, like,
I mean, he was talking to Cormier in the cage.
Souza, other than his win against Souza, he's been a little bit disappointing. Well, I mean, he had some nice wins before that, but it was against a bunch of nobodies. And since his win against Souza, he lost to Brunson, lost to Vittori, pretty much got handled against Daukaus. So, I don't know, man. I'm not that high on Holland.
Yeah, he doesn't seem that serious. He's doing too much talking in the cage. He was talking to DC while the fight was going on. He defended a takedown. He's like, oh, see, DC doing better now. And I'm like, come on, man, focus on the fight. Focus on your opponent. I don't care how comfortable you are, how loose you are, how much of an entertainer you want to be. When you are in a fight and you start talking to someone else, your attention is diverted to that someone else. Maybe it's not 100% of your attention, but it's some of your attention, and 100% of your attention should be on the fucking fight you're in a cage right now. So I don't like that from Kevin Holland. I don't like that shit. If I was his coach, I'd tell him, next time you fucking talk in the cage, like, it's over. I quit. I wouldn't want to be around him because he's a guy who he's made a name for himself. He's made some money, and now he's like a personality more than a fighter. Every time I see Kevin Holland now, I think, that guy's like a minor celebrity, and he's not a fighter anymore. He kind of talks the talk and does all this shit and works Instagram and all this stuff, and he's buying stuff, and he's made money, but I don't think he's that serious about becoming a world champion. I liken him to Darren Till. Darren Till kind of got really hot really fast, got some nice wins, and then everything just fucking fell apart because the head got bigger than what's going on in the cage. Like, the shit outside of the cage a lot of times can confuse these guys and make them think that there's something that they're not, and then they don't take fighting as seriously, and then bad shit happens. Look at Conor McGregor. Shit happens, You become a personality, and you start talking more than you start fighting. It's only downhill for you. This game does not reward guys that don't take fighting seriously, You got to be 100%.
I agree with you. I agree with you, and that's the thing, man. You can talk the talk, you can talk the bullshit in the ring and whatnot. I mean, guys like Muhammad Ali were famous for talking in the ring, but that's a Muhammad Ali, the king of all kings, man. That's
can do it.
Story.
Like Nick Diaz brothers, winning. It's part of their shit. But when they're talking, who are they talking to? Who was Ali talking to when he fought? Was he talking to guys outside of the ring, or was he talking to his opponent?
No. His opponent, exactly.
You can talk to your opponent. If you're in a fight and you want to talk to your opponent all day. Hey, motherfucker, boom, boom. Fuck you, ha, ha, ha. Do that shit if you want. You like Khabib. You want to talk? Let's talk now. Let's talk now. Boom, boom. That was good shit, You could do that. You're focused on your opponent. When you start talking to fucking commentary while you're in a fight, this isn't pro wrestling, dude. What are you, The Rock?
Listen,
you gonna pick up the camera? Hey, jabroni. Come on, man.
Dave, the craziest part of this whole week was this. I mean, not to go off into a vortex, but his best fight of the week was stopping a car thief. I don't know if you know about that, but Kevin Holland went after this car thief, and he kept him in some kind of a scarf hold, thank you to Khabib style, and that's the best thing he's done in fighting all week.
He can take that guy. He's got no problem with that guy. That guy's not a trained fighter.
In his hand. Listen, but that's what I'm trying to tell you. Kevin Holland's biggest moment of this whole week was not his fight in the ring, was the fact that he stopped some car thief with a coffee in his hand and a scarf hold choke on him, on the thief, and the cops came in. That's the thing with this guy. If this guy was able to win, and he was able to win with the talking, this whole thing about him stopping a car thief would have been even bigger than anything. He would have been the biggest superstar. But the problem is that nobody gives a shit if he stops a thief now. In fact, maybe people were rooting for the thief to knock him out, like they did to some of our friends like Dylan Dennis that got knocked out by a security guard. That's the problem with these guys, is that there's something wrong. You want to talk the talk. You can only do that when you're actually winning. And even then, you got to know how to do it. You know what I mean? Like you said, Diaz has that style, man. That
they
persona.
talk to their
Conor
opponents.
McGregor.
There's a difference
Conor McGregor
between,
is good at that.
It's a difference between trash talk in the fight and just talking. He's not even trash talking. He's in a fight, and he's like, hey, DC, did you see that takedown I just defended? Meanwhile, the other guy doesn't give a fuck about what you're saying. He wants to beat your ass.
You know,
And he
I
did.
wonder if it's not nerves.
He knocked him out and choked him out in the fight. Like, come on, man. I don't know. I was really high on Kevin Holland at one point. I was super impressed with the way he knocked out Jacare from his back. Like, holy shit, that was impressive. But now it just seems like he knocked out an old Jacare who can't really take a punch anymore, and maybe Kevin Holland's not that good. Maybe, that was just a big win. It made him famous, and, it was a cool highlight. But maybe it was actually a bad thing for his career because it kind of shot him up the ladder to guys that he really shouldn't be fighting, and you see what happens. Like, he's getting handled by everybody he fights now. Handled.
Look, there's a comment that came in from John Hedstrom, and he was talking about Johnny Walker, and that's another guy that we said was going to be we hyped him up. They were saying he was going to be the next Anderson Silva, and you look at all these guys that were fighting on this card. They were all guys that were hyped in the beginning to be like superstar performers, and to be honest, man, they kind of fizzled, man. It's just
of course
they're there,
because
but
hype kills, man. Hype will kill you.
Man.
Hype will kill you as a fighter. It's terrible. Hype is the worst thing, man. Because if you get hyped,
don't give you wings.
You get hyped, people know who you are, and you're fighting your way up the ladder. Especially these guys that get hyped and they're not like the world champion, you know what I mean? Or they're not championship level. They get hyped up and they become these kind of minor celebrities in the UFC, like MMA stars, right? And then you get a guy like Kyle Daukaus who fucking nobody knows who he is, Nobody's ever heard of him. But meanwhile, Kyle Daukaus is like, well, I'm in the co-main event of this shit, and I'm fighting Kevin Holland. People know who Kevin Holland is. It's a fucking target on your back. Hype is a target. It makes guys fight their best fight against you when sometimes they might not even be thinking that hard about you. But because you have hype, people go hard at you. Sorry, Fred,
but it's not the fighter's fault. It's the fans' fault, I would say, because, like you say, his highlight is knocking out Jacare from his back, which is unusual. That's not how MMA fighters win fights. They don't win fights from their back knocking out people. So fans got caught up in that. But honestly, it's more of a fluke win than anything. And I think that the rest of his fights is pretty much what Kevin Holland is. So we got to put that Jacare fight behind and judge him by the rest of his performance, I feel.
Yeah, he's definitely a guy who's good at striking. He hits hard. He's got knockout power. He's long. He's rangy. But he's got no takedown defense and no ground game, and that's been very much exposed in the UFC. And if he keeps fighting grapplers, he's going to keep losing unless something changes. And him talking, all that talk, I feel like, he wants to be an MMA star more than he wants to be an MMA champion. And that's fine. You could make some money being an MMA star, but, I don't know how long that star really shines if you keep losing fights.
Look, he'll be on the next main card. Whatever happens, which I think it's going to be another loss for him in his next fight.
What?
He
no,
might
no,
have
no.
another
100% it's going to be a loss for him in his next fight. 100%. He's fighting Daukaus
I'm
again.
pretty sure.
Holland is for sure losing.
Lose.
He's for sure losing. And Hedstrom Bacon making a good point. He says the fighters are at fault when they believe their own hype. It's true. If you believe your own hype, you start, and you can't deliver at that level, then, if you lose and whatever happens, that's your own. I mean, it's all in the fighter's hands. It's a lot of it is, making the, zigging when you should and zagging when you should, you know what I mean? Like making those right moves. A lot of it is, luck. A lot of it is intelligence. A lot of it is natural ability, but a lot of it is hard work and focus. And a lot of it is focus, and Kevin Holland just doesn't seem that focused. When he's in the fight, he doesn't seem super focused on his fights. And, it's worked for him up until this point, but now it seems like it's not working for him.
Look, sometimes it's the fault of the coaches as well, because if the coaches are not there, not only to master their skills in the fight or at least know the breakdown of their opponents, sometimes it's also that psychological thing and the motivational thing that they lack. Because if they're not able to see, in their past fights, how the loss came to be, and also, all that talk and I'm going to take Holland, for example. There's something wrong with the coaching staff. They've got the problem, because if they're not there to help this guy get to where he needs to be and telling him straight, quit that shit, you've got guys like Joshua Fabia that come into this game and manipulate the minds of a guy like Sanchez, who was like one of the most exciting fighters in the game. What I'm trying to say is, you got coaches like Joshua Fabia that come in and can fuck up an athlete. That's the problem, man.
In the coach's defense, MMA coaching is not a very lucrative business unless you have a guy in the UFC who's making money. You want to keep that guy happy.
Dave, it's the same thing, man. But it is a business. But your job is to keep these guys focused on the fight and to help them whatever it needs to be, like weed it out. And for Holland, it's his trash talk, and it's not even trash talk. It's the talking out of the ring. And like I was gonna say earlier, maybe it's nerves. Maybe maybe it's like this weird tick that he has, and that's why he says shit that doesn't make sense.
I think he's not that good. He's just on TV and he can be heard and he likes that, so he's doing it.
But that's going to come to a short. That's coming to an end, bud. If he can't get the win on the next fight against Daukaus and actually prove that it was just a mistake, this guy, I don't know how many fights he still has on his contract. I don't think it's that many. I think he signed for 5 prior, but it's coming up to the end. He'll end up in a fight night, and then we won't hear of Kevin Holland again until another one comes about. But the thing is that it's a shame because looking at hype guys like Johnny Walker, man. When Johnny Walker came, man, that guy was exciting, and things kind of snowballed when he did a super warm break. I don't know, man.
Well, Johnny Walker's another guy. Like, he bounces around from gym to gym. It seems like he can't quite figure out what the right path is for himself. It's just.
Well, look, the right path is what he started in the beginning.
It's not that easy.
That was the right path.
MMA fighting, especially at the highest level, it's very difficult to figure out, like, where should I go? Who should I train with? What's the best approach? Like, it's tough, man. And as you climb up that ladder, we see, like, there are challenges. There are all sorts of different things that you got to look out for. And, you could win a bunch of fights and be super talented at fighting and knock a bunch of people out. But when you get to that upper echelon, you got to have everything running like a machine. The team has got to be right. Your training has got to be right. Your focus has got to be right. Like, when you get to that upper echelon of MMA, you got to be a machine. It's got to be well-run and perfect, and everything's got to be there in place. And when things are not quite in place and you're looking for a camp or you're looking for, a new coach or whatever, it doesn't always work out for you. You look at the world champions. Look at the champions. They have their team. They stick with their teams. And their teams have been with them for years, for the most part, right?
Absolutely.
They find the right path and they stick to it. And some of these guys haven't found that right path.
What's not broken.
Like, Kevin Holland could be a world champion if he can find the path to victory. He's very talented. That's what's frustrating about him. He's clearly got a lot of talent. He's young. He's athletic. He's got, charisma out the ass, but the path to victory isn't quite there. There's something missing. And it seems like focus when he fights because he's, like, talking to other guys. I don't know.
Anyways, we're talking so much about Holland, but we're not. No, and that's it. Like, we talk so much about Holland that hasn't really proven himself in a sense. And Daukaus, who fought him, was really fought a great fight, man. And this is another guy that's under the radar. Guys like Volkanovski, under the radar, man. Champion, but under the radar. And it's just because they don't bring that I guess that entertainment aspect that fans want to see as well. And that's what it comes down to, everybody wants to be kind of like Conor, and everybody wants to be kind of like that, I guess, John Jones type and whatnot. But they just don't have it. You can't be that guy.
That's how you get noticed.
If you want to be, you got to win. And you got to win, even if you lose. I always said this to all fighters. Every fighter that I've spoken to or trained with and everything, I've always said the same thing. If the fight is a fight that you lose, at least if you lose, make sure that you win the crowd. That's the bottom line. If you're going to lose a fight, and we're going to take a guy like Diaz, he lost his fight against Lawler, but he still won the crowd because he came out to fight, man. Even though it didn't go his way, people still loved him because he still brought what you would expect from Diaz. He delivers. So even when you lose, you win. And that's what it comes down to when you want to be a fighter. Like Angelo says, if you want to be in there because you love the game of MMA, you got to fight, MMA. If you don't want to be in there, then you know what? Step back, because there's thousands of other fighters out there that are getting like a couple $100 a fight in like other organizations that would love to be in the UFC right now to get that opportunity to make some good money. And you know what?
Okay, AJ,
It's a shame.
I get it. But, all right. I get it.
Amen.
You're mad.
Amen, brother.
Yeah.
No, I'm not mad. I'm
Next.
just like, it's just.
Yeah. I mean, I get it.
How about
like,
Alex Oliveira?
It would be good if he could, stick to his shit and be a little bit more focused, but it doesn't seem like the deal. We'll see what happens with him. I don't know. What about Alex Oliveira? He lost to Nico Price. Why the fuck are we talking about him?
No, because didn't you see what happened when he was coming into the ring? I don't know if you noticed
crying.
that. What the hell was that all about?
I don't know.
Nobody knows why he was crying. What the hell happened? Did he eat onions before he went into the game?
Yes,
I don't know.
That's what happened. He was cutting onions.
Some people are emotional, man.
Yeah.
The dude has 11 kids, man. Maybe one of them made him go crazy before the fight. I mean,
pardon me?
That's
11
possible,
kids?
Man?
He has what?
He has 11 kids?
Man, you guys missed that? And Nico Price has like 5 or 6. And like Oliveira before the fight told Nico
Brady
Price,
bunch.
like, get a vasectomy. Joking.
11 kids with the same woman?
That's why he's still fighting.
I don't know that. I didn't go that far into the story, but
sounds like Evander Holyfield here, man.
That's the first question. 33 years old with 11 children? How?
Jesus. Like how,
So,
man? Why?
Various relationships according to Wikipedia.
Father of 11.
Father of 11 with various women. All right. I just couldn't imagine one woman
Murphy,
giving birth to 11 kids. I know it happens, but
now you know what. Now you know why he wants to fight.
Well, he needs to fight.
Imagine handling 11 kids.
No,
it's not that he needs to. He needs to get out of the house, man. Imagine
money.
11 kids.
He's got 11 kids. He needs the money. Are you kidding me? 11 kids? That's not cheap, bro.
Wow. I didn't know that. I didn't know that fact, Freddie, but holy smokes, man.
11 kids
coming up
with
soon, man.
several different women. Wow.
That's why he was crying.
Yeah. He's like, shit, number 12 is coming. I can't believe I did it again. I really hate condoms, man.
He's thinking of his paycheck. He's got to pay this for this kid, pay this other thing for this other kid, man. He's like, man, my paycheck's already spent, and I haven't even got into the cage yet, man.
I'm going to lose to this guy. Damn.
It's all going to fucking diapers, and that's the worst part. It's all going to the diapers, to a shit bag, out the door. He's got to fight again. Wow. Hats off to Alex Oliveira. Cowboy hat.
Reusable diapers is my tip to you, Alex Oliveira. Get those reusables. Just wash them.
Or
like
Freddie says, snip, snip. Snip, snip, Freddie.
Yeah, like Freddie. Do that.
Snip, snip.
Do that.
Do the Freddie snip. It's a jiu-jitsu move.
All right.
Wow.
Casey O'Neill won. I told you she would win. She was one of my big picks of the night. She won.
She looks so good, eh?
Smashed Antonina Shevchenko.
Man.
Yep.
That was something. I was impressed, man.
Told you, bro.
It was a good card. It was a good card until like the Johnny Walker Santos fight, in my opinion.
That fight was super boring.
But you know what's crazy is that you get a lot of these other shows that are like, oh, it was such a hard-fought fight. It was like, a very close fight. What was so close about it? What was so close?
The scorecards
aftershave
at the end.
that was like you could
47?
smell it. That's about. No, man. It was not close in the sense of it wasn't a hard-fought, exciting fight.
No.
It was like a distanced, boring. Walk.
I think both guys lost their spot amongst the top of the division. Both guys didn't really deliver, so you're not talking about them getting a title shot anytime soon. There's a lot of other young prospects that are more interesting than them. So, I mean, both of them, Santos might have won the fight, but he didn't really win, man. He didn't go up in the rankings or anything like that.
No, he's ranked number 5, and he's staying there. But still, he's on the top 5.
Whatever. He's not interesting right now in the division. You want to talk about guys at 205? It's like Fred was saying. Rakic, Magomed Ankalaev, Yuri Prochazka. These are the guys. You have Jan Blachowicz and Glover Teixeira fighting each other soon. I think it's the 30th of October in Abu Dhabi. And the winner of that takes on, I don't know, Yuri Prochazka or Rakic or Ankalaev. One of those motherfuckers.
All killers, man. All killers.
Hell yeah.
Good luck. That's all I'll say. Bonne chance, as they say in Quebec.
That's not exactly what they say, but it's close enough.
Auf Wiedersehen, as they say. Auf Wiedersehen, as they say in German.
Hey, Fred, it's not quite, but it's close enough.
I was close to celebrating because yesterday Spain beat Italy in that, UEFA Cup. And then today, Belgium was kicking France's ass, but fucking France came back because, I'm a quarter from Belgium. My grandma on my mother's side's from Belgium. So, I was hoping to, diss both of you guys. But, hey, Yankees still suck, and that's all good.
Poor Dave. Every time I saw the Yankees going down, I'm like, Dave must be flipping out at home. Even Noah said it over here. He was like, "Oh, Dave must be upset." I'm like, "Damn, is he upset?" Angelo must be celebrating when Toronto was like. But... Dave is not saying anything right now because he's gonna flip out. He's not even wearing anything that you notice of Yankee. Usually he wears his Yankee shirt or something Yankees. Now forget it, man. Yankees are gone. You're gone. You're out.
I'm just so sad. I got nothing to say.
Super chat.
Listen, the good thing is, Dave, you know what the good thing is? That AJ was right. The Expos might be back. Just to bring you some rainbow sunshine to you. The Expos might be back. They're apparently it's in the works. We're gonna get some really good news in November for all the Expo fans, man. November is the month.
Stop
I'm not lying, dude. I'm just giving you some insider info that AJ knows. AJ knows some inside shit, and he's telling you this. November is going to be a big announcement.
AJ knows what he reads and sees on TV. So thank you, Patrick C. Hamilton, for the super chat. Appreciate you, Patrick. You're the super chat leader. My man Patrick out in Saskatchewan. Yeah, I'm super bummed about what happened to the Yankees. The fucking third base coach needs to be fired. Why the fuck did he send Judge on that fucking play home?
Man,
he doesn't send Judge there. It's a 3-2 ball game. Everything changes. Goddamn guy fucked up. I'm so mad at the third base coach. You got to fire him. At the very least, get rid of that guy. He fucked up major league. Also, Garrett Cole,
that second baseman, man. Wow,
yeah, fuck that guy. You can suck a dick. Garrett Cole, $36 million. You fucking have one game. You pitch 6 outs. You're good for 6 outs and 3 earned runs. $36 million a season. $36 million a season. You're good for 6 outs in the playoffs. You're supposed to be the ace. What the fuck, man? $36 million? You're good for 6 outs? Get the fuck out of here, bro. What is that shit? 6 outs.
Baseball. That's
$36 million. $36 million.
But he did a good job today.
A year. Sorry, buddy. I said a bad word.
Bud.
Let's go, Astros.
Did he? Now that's a team that doesn't cheat, and I love him.
What?
They play the right way, man.
Super chat.
Listen, man. Listen, it's not anybody's fault if they're able to decipher the codes. These guys are geniuses. The Astros, man, are like the Einsteins
garbage
of
can
baseball.
Bandits.
Smart.
They
were smart. Look how red Dave's getting, man. Lucky I'm not in studio, or else Dave would have jumped me, man. Woo!
I'm gonna have a fucking NXT 2.0 episode right now in my heart, like Triple H. Good God Almighty! Thank you, Angelo. Rays up 2-0 over the Red Sox in the second. Yeah, the Rays are fucking ridiculous. The Rays are so good. I can't imagine they don't win the World Series, but you never know. They're so good. But yeah, AJ, you talk about the Rays splitting their season with Montreal, maybe. Like, if it does happen, it would be half a season, and it wouldn't happen for another, 8 years. You realize that? It's not, like imminent.
Damn.
It's like the year 2030. You'll be
AJ's gonna
so
be in his
old.
70s.
Yeah, AJ, you'll be 75 by then. What are you talking about? I mean, you won't be, but
Roger
close.
Roulotte won't be in the stands, that's for sure.
Yeah, well, that's it. I don't understand. It's just, it seems like such a fucking pipe dream. We're going to get a team for half a season. Any other baseball teams do that? Half seasons? split seasons from one city to another?
Well,
What about the players?
I'm trying to think.
The players,
Something's ringing a bell.
You want
Who
to
gets
live
the playoffs.
You want to live in a city. You want to buy a house somewhere, and you got to split it. Like it's weird. It's weird. It seems like a pipe dream. I know a lot of people in Montreal have all their fucking hopes pinned on it, but I'm skeptical. And the playoffs, Fred, it's like 1 year it would go for the Tampa, and the next year it would go to Montreal. But what if the year for it's Montreal, like they don't make the playoffs? What then? I don't fucking know, man. It seems just like it seems far-fetched. I would like it. I think it would be cool to get baseball back in Montreal because I'm a big baseball fan. But, like, the whole concept of half the Rays, I'm not going to root for them because it's half our team and they're in the AL East, so go Yankees all day, every day. I will go there to cheer for the Yankees. And B, I just don't really believe that it's going to happen. I don't believe it. I would like it. I'll take it, but I just don't really buy it. A lot of people, like AJ is like, it's going to happen. A lot of people are like in the camp of this is happening, but I'm skeptical.
It's okay, bud.
AJ, tell us why Mackenzie
happens.
Dern's going to dominate or win or why you love her.
Yeah.
Go for it.
Simple, because she's just awesome, man. And when you're awesome like Mackenzie Dern, and you come with the hype, and you deliver, you have a kid, you come back even better than you were before, that's love, bud. That's love. Mackenzie Dern.
That's love.
I came so close.
She's going to win because of
man.
love?
Came so close. Imagine. Exactly, bud. It's all about
Great
love,
analysis.
man. It's all about
love.
She's gonna love to
Fucking
bring her
weirdo.
down and submit her, and that's how that love's gonna begin. It's called a submission. So if you want to win
love.
on that fight, it's gonna be all about love and that submission, and that's what's gonna happen. It's gonna be 5 rounds. It's gonna probably end before the third, and then almost probable it's gonna be a submission win, man. And listen, man, Mackenzie Dern is awesome. Her dad is awesome. Megaton. Me and you. Right.
Whatever happened to Jennifer Love Hewitt? She's still around?
Not sure
Why
why.
does that ring a bell, Dave?
I don't know. He's talking about Love, and I was like, is there a fighter called Love? Is there some
Courtney
joke I
Love.
can make? And then I just started
Courtney
thinking about
Love.
Jennifer Love Hewitt, and I was like, yeah, she was all right.
Dude,
I liked
Love.
her. I liked her like AJ
Who?
likes Mackenzie Dern. You know what I mean?
Mackenzie Dern. She's so awesome. Beautiful. You know what? I had to. I can't
Take it
even. I
easy,
can't even
AJ.
tell you. No, but I can't even tell you how. Like I still remember like talking with her, and we were schmoozing, this and that.
Take it easy.
And I invited her and her dad for supper at the
You're like
restaurant.
twice her age, huh?
Yeah, and she declined your
Easy, buddy.
invitation
Take
because you're
it
a
easy.
weirdo.
No. The father was cool about it. The only thing is that she was
'cause
cutting
he's
weight
like a
and she couldn't
contemporary.
eat. She was on a strict diet.
Yeah.
So and you know what? Really nice family, man. They were super, super nice. Megaton is
All right.
he's amazing, man.
So
amazing
can we talk
guy.
about the fight before? Like, I know you're just gonna fanboy over Mackenzie Dern, and that's kind of what this show's all about, I suppose. Mackenzie
She's
Dern
not
right
only
now.
fat boy, dude. She's beautiful.
All right, can I get to the fucking thing, or you just want
Okay,
to?
sorry, man. Go ahead. No, but it's important to know. Like, she's
It's
beautiful
important
in and
that
out
you
of
think she's
her-
beautiful. All right.
In and
She's the
out.
favorite, minus 180. Marina Rodriguez, plus 145, the underdog. Marina Rodriguez is no joke, though. She's a good striker. She's a good all-around fighter. She's got a solid record, 14-1. She just beat Michelle Watterson. She's beat Amanda Hebus. Amanda Hebus, by the way, who's defeated Mackenzie Dern in the past. So don't sleep on Marina Rodriguez. This is not an easy fight for Mackenzie Dern. It's probably one of the tougher fights she's ever had, maybe the toughest MMA fight she's ever had, to be quite honest. This is a tough one. This is a main event, too. This is a big spot for Mackenzie Dern. But I think she's going to show up. I think she's going to show up in this one. I think she's going to get the submission. It's 5 rounds. You give a jiu-jitsu ace like Mackenzie Dern. I love that AJ talked about Mackenzie Dern and the love and the beauty. He didn't once say how good she was at jiu-jitsu, which, usually when you say, hey, Mackenzie Dern, why is she going to win the fight? You say, jiu-jitsu, her jiu-jitsu's so good, and she's going to choke out, and da-da-da. AJ didn't say jiu-jitsu once. He just talked about the
I said
sauna with
submission.
her
I said
dad.
the love.
You talked about how you loved her, how you thought she was beautiful, and how you sat naked in a hot room with her dad. So I don't know what's going on there.
I was wearing a towel, bud.
Sure you were.
Well, I came off when you're in there, but yeah, I was still sitting on the towel.
Yeah. Yeah. And then you and Megaton looked into each other's eyes and you had a moment, and one thing led to another. And anyways,
Arm over arm, and it's like,
I
is
got
your daughter
Mackenzie
single?
Dern by submission. I think her jiu-jitsu's too good to be in there for 25 minutes with Marina Rodriguez and not catch her at some point. I don't know if it'll be under 2.5 rounds or over. Right now, Bet99.com has over 2.5 rounds, plus 116, under 2.5 rounds, minus 150. So the odds makers believe that Mackenzie Dern will finish this fight in under 2.5 rounds. Dern, like I said, minus 180, the favorite. I don't know about the over-under as far as rounds in this one. Rodriguez is tough. I don't think she's ever been finished, so, not an easy task here ahead of Mackenzie Dern. Yeah, Rodriguez's sole loss was a split decision to Carla Esparza in the UFC, so Marina Rodriguez is no joke here. But yeah, I like Mackenzie Dern by submission. AJ, I know what you like. You think she's beautiful, Fred, what's your thought on this fight here? You think Marina Rodriguez is going to stop Dern? She's tough.
I'll be honest. I was planning on following Dave because, Dave has been good on these picks, especially on the women's side. But I was expecting Dave to pick Marina Rodriguez, so I'm going against you guys. I'm picking Marina.
Yeah, but hold on a sec, Fred. You got to remember one thing. You're right. One thing is that Marina, when it comes to striking, her abilities are unbelievable. But if you're going to look at how many times she's been taken down in her last 3 fights, she's been taken down numerous times. And now she's coming up against somebody like Mackenzie Dern. She has her takedown defense sits around 62%, which is really, really poor when you're coming up against Mackenzie Dern. So if you want to go with Rodriguez, let's hope she can knock out Dern in the first 2 rounds. But let's not forget, Dern has some pretty good striking as well. She's able to take punches, she's able to give punches, and she proved that. She wanted people to know that she can strike if she needs to. But like she said, I was listening to her on Helwani, and she brought up a good point. She said this. She says, you know what, I'm not worried about getting my nose broken and whatnot, but what you have to remember is this, is that a lot of people tend to do things that they shouldn't do, and they should do what they're best at. My game is submission, and that's where it's going to end up. I'm going to submit her, and I believe that's exactly what's going to happen. I don't think it's going to go past the 3rd round.
Yeah, obviously submission is the play here. I think Mackenzie Dern by submission. Fred, I know what you mean. Marina Rodriguez is tough, but Mackenzie Dern's striking is really improving. She's only 28 years old, and I think every fight she gets a lot better. She's such an athlete. Her jiu-jitsu is so good, and she's really adapting to MMA. I think she's really working on that wrestling game and the striking game. I think she's a lot more well-rounded than Marina Rodriguez. I think Marina's striking is better, but not by enough to beat Mackenzie Dern. I think Mackenzie's also tough to put away. She's never actually been finished, so she's not going to be easy to just knock out. She might lose some rounds, Mackenzie, but I think eventually she'll catch her, she'll take her down. And once she takes you down, like if Mackenzie takes you down with like 3 minutes left in the round, it's fucking over, right? That's the thing. She's so deadly on the ground. If she could get you down, she's going to wrap something up, an armbar, a choke, something. She's going to catch you. She's really good.
Even a minute,
her jiu-jitsu is so strong,
think about it.
And she's added other skills to complement the jiu-jitsu. I've been watching Mackenzie Dern pretty closely her whole career, mostly because AJ's so high on her and, he makes us pay attention to her. But, I've been impressed lately, especially since the baby. Since she's come back from the pregnancy, she seems to have added levels to her game, especially that striking. Every time I see her fight, her striking is significantly better, which really she needed to kind of, shore up the rest of her game. So now it's a complete MMA game. She's very, very good. And, AJ thinks she's pretty. So there's that as well.
No, but Dave, the thing is that when you look at her overall, status, this girl is just not, I always say she's a good-looking girl and whatnot.
You do always say that.
Is like, I do, but she comes from an amazing grappling stock. Her dad, Megaton Diaz, is one of the best grapplers, probably one of the best senior grapplers in the world. This guy is an amazing coach, an amazing mentor, and this girl's been training with her dad since 3 years old, man. Think about it. And when you look at her professional grappling career, the girl has over 75 wins, man, in grappling, 45 by submission. the thing with Mackenzie Dern, she's fought people like Gabriel Garcia. Yeah, she lost to Garcia, but if anybody wants to look at who Gabriel Garcia is, she'll make
AJ tap out.
I don't
Easy.
know. She'll make me tap
you.
out, no doubt about
She's
it.
like
Of
twice
course,
your size.
she's a beast. Maybe even 2.5 times our size. I mean, the girl is a beast. But the thing is that yeah, she lost to Garcia back in 2013. But it's a different story now. I mean, Mackenzie Dern has gotten so much better. When you look at all her accolades in the jiu-jitsu world or in the grappling world, the girl is a real hype, man. And I think if she wins this fight, she's on the road to becoming, who knows, maybe a future champion and not too far away, man. The future.
Her.
This is strawweight. This is 115.
Not on the ground. Yeah.
Oh.
But
so it'd be Rose. Which would be interesting. I don't know. Mackenzie Dern's really good.
Because I think I saw Mackenzie says she wanted to fight Valentina or something.
Oh, yeah?
I read a quote like that. Yeah.
Yeah, because she has to go up. Yeah.
And I was like, concentrate on your upcoming fight, Mackenzie. But yeah, she was like, I need to find the exact quote, but maybe somebody asked her if she would want to fight her, but she said, yeah, she would want to.
I'm telling you, Mackenzie Dern has the jiu-jitsu to beat anybody. If she takes you to the ground, I think she can beat a lot of people in the UFC. She can be a world champion. She can be if she fights the right fights.
Including a lot of men.
And she seems focused on her striking, and that's really, I think, a big sign for me that gives me faith in Mackenzie Dern is that every time her striking improves. Every fight she seems a lot better. So I'm looking for the best version of Mackenzie Dern here to come out, and I think she beats Marina Rodriguez coming up on Saturday night, and we are not unanimous, though. Freddie is going with Rodriguez. AJ and I going with Mackenzie Dern, of course. What? Are you going to go on and on about her dad even more?
No, because I just saw a comment come in, and like Angelo says, he'd love to watch me tap out to Gabriel Garcia. Listen, I don't think there's any guy that's on this panel or like watching right now that probably won't tap out to her. Google Gabriel Garcia. The girl is man, if she would come into the UFC, man, there would be nobody there that can beat her, man.
I don't know. Fred's
nobody. I'm telling you.
I think Fred might not tap.
Fred's I'm talking to MMA as well because this girl can like pound it out, man.
I'm just saying, Fred's good. All right, don't sleep on Fred.
Fred is good.
Fred, stop shaking your head.
Gabriel Garcia,
you're good. I've rolled with you,
She's got biceps. She's got biceps the size of like Hulk Hogan, man. She's like
not that good.
Man, take a look at her.
You're pretty good, Fred. You got skills. Fred's got tricks, man. Fred's a tricky bastard. I tell you, he's got some good fucking.
Man, you can't tell if she's the axe murderer or if she's Gabriel Garcia. That's what I'm telling you. You put two photos next to each other, and you're like, what the hell?
Please.
Dude, it is classy. I'm just saying.
No, it's
the girl
not classy.
Is just
you're
amazing.
not a classy guy.
I have a lot of respect for her. What?
Right now, it's not so classy. You've really devolved. You know, like you're talking about Gabriel Garcia's looks. You're talking about Mackenzie Dern's looks. How about we talk about your looks for a second? Take off the hat.
Shut up. Listen, man. I'm not saying anything bad about any of that. I'm saying that Gabriel Garcia is probably
all right.
the meanest
we're not talking about her anymore.
World.
You're done talking about Gabriel Garcia. Banned. Over. What about the rest of this fight card? Randy Brown takes on Jared Gooden in the co-main event. I've got Randy. I got old Randy. I think he's gonna win.
Randy Brown?
Yeah.
That's a tough one, Dave.
Is it? Randy Brown's a minus 240, the favorite. That's a pretty heavy favorite. I think he wins.
Going up against Jared Gooden at 18-6? Man,
yeah,
okay.
I'm not super high on Jared Gooden. I think Randy Brown is pretty good. Good striking. Good all around. I got Brown. Tim Elliott takes on Mateus Nicolau. I think there may be some value here in going with Tim Elliott at plus 166, the underdog. You might want to look at Elliott in that one. Elsewhere on this card, I don't have much for you.
Sabina Mazo.
I don't have that much for you.
Phil Haas.
Who?
Phil Haas, man. There's Phil Haas.
Yeah.
Phil Haas.
Yeah.
Haas.
I mean, isn't he like a judo guy? I'm mistaken.
Yeah, he's pretty good. I think he'll probably win. Minus 313, the favorite. Over Deron.
Oh, he's a wrestler, actually. Sorry.
Yeah. Yeah, he's good. Big jack dude, Phil Haas. Big jack middleweight. I could see Charles Rosa pulling off the upset possibly over his opponent, Damon Jackson.
Damon Jackson.
Yeah, Rosa
Okay,
is a
I can
slight
see that
underdog
happening.
here. Rosa, what's the line here? Rosa plus 150, Jackson minus 186. I could see Rosa pulling it off. I'll give you here my parlay.
Don't forget my cousin Steve.
Steve Garcia, man.
Who's Steve Garcia?
Good old Steve Garcia.
Who the fuck is Steve Garcia?
In the lightweight division.
All right.
Against Charlie's Ontiveros.
All right. I don't know who those guys are, but they're fighting on the first fight of the night, or the afternoon, 1:30 p.m. Eastern time, like I said, for this fight card on Fight Pass only. I'm trying to give you a parlay, but I really don't have much for you. Let's go with this.
Me neither, man.
I got this.
Well,
I'm gonna give you a
man. It's for Bet99.
I'm giving you a 3-fight parlay. Go to bet99.com, bet with us. They don't have the props yet on this Dern fight. I would go with Dern by submission, but they don't have that up yet, so I'm just going to go Dern straight up, minus 180. Then I got Tim Elliott for you, slight underdog, plus 166, and Randy Brown, minus 240. That's why am I giving 10? Let's do 20, baby. Let's roll the dice, you know what I'm saying? $20 parlay, plus 47. $20 gets you 117.53. A 3-fight parlay. Team Dave, try to win some money this Saturday afternoon. Go to bet99.com. Use that promo code Ringside when you do to do the damn thing.
You want my pick, or are you going with Freddie's?
Freddie, give me something. You got something?
I got Marina Rodriguez and Tim Elliott here.
Oh, yeah. Going with a 2-fight parlay, 2 underdogs there. Team Fred. Going with Rodriguez, going against the grain here, not sticking with us. Not going with Dern. He's going with Rodriguez plus 145, Elliott plus 166. $20 will get you 130.91. 2 underdogs, 2-fight parlay. Pays off big time for Team Fred. That's a pretty good parlay. Like, I could see that one coming through. AJ, what do you got? Dern and...
So I'm going with the 5-fight. I'm always going. I'm going with Mackenzie Dern.
Wow,
I'm going with 5 fights. I always go with 5 fights. Because I like, the payout if it comes out. But anyways, Mackenzie Dern, I'm going with Jared Gooden on this one. I'm going to go with Mateus Nicolau on the next one.
Oh.
Then I'm going with Agapova. I really like that girl. And then I'm going with Phil Haas. That's my pick, man.
Yeah, I could see Agapova.
5 fights, $20.
I like that
She's
Agapova
good,
pick.
Agapova.
I think she might pull it off. She is a slight underdog. Let me give you the AJ parlay here. Dern.
Spit it out, Dave.
He's got Dern, minus 180, Gooden, plus 190, Nicolau, minus 209, going against us with a Tim Elliott pick. That'll be a big fight for the Ringside Report crew. He's got Agapova over Mazzo, plus 157, and Phil Haas, minus 313 over Duran Win. $20 will get you, plus 2165, $453.26. Holy shit, AJ.
Come out, man. Come out.
It's a big parlay, man.
Listen, man, it's a possibility there, man. That's that could be a winning ticket there, man.
Yeah, I don't like that Gooden pick.
The only thing
Everything else I could see happening. Like Agapova, yeah, Haas, yeah, Nicolau, possibly, Dern I like, of course, but Gooden over Brown, I just don't see it all. That's the one in your parlay where I say, yeah, stay away from that one. The Elliott fight, though, I can see that one going to Nicolau, too. He is the favorite. But not Gooden. I don't like that Gooden-Brown fight. I like Brown. Just saying. All right, guys. What do you think? Should Henry Cejudo get the shot at Volkanovski? Cejudo retired as the 125-pound, 135-pound champion, and now he says he would come back for one fight to fight Volkanovski for the 145-pound title.
He'll get knocked out, man.
I say, why not?
So fast, he'll go back into retirement.
Do it, Dana.
Why not?
Do it, Dana.
Yeah, do it. I would like to see that.
What's the other option? Another fight against Holloway? Yeah.
Holloway's going to fight Yair Rodriguez, and the winner of that, I guess, would get Volkanovski.
Look, Dana White is not too happy about it anyways. He's not, he's not too happy about it. He's like, you've been out, and now you want to jump over Max and all those other guys. He was saying it on the Contender Series. Like, he's like, whatever, Cejudo. And you know what? I would like to see it happen. Let him jump like the ranks of everybody there, because you know what? It's like such a disrespect to Volkanovski. Like, he's so underappreciated but you know what? He's got no chance against him. I like,
Volkanovski's great.
Pryor. Exactly.
No chance?
Volkanovski is going to. No, Volkanovski is going to knock out Cejudo. That's what it's going to come down to.
I think
I
it's
don't know.
has no
Cejudo
chance,
that's
man.
underappreciated. Because, I mean, this guy, when he started in the UFC, he was so-so. But once he became champion, man, he went on a run that was very, very good. And he retired, man. And unfortunately, the fans didn't see him, like, continue his prime. Like, Cejudo retired on top, and he was evolving and all. He was becoming an interesting fighter. So I would like to see Cejudo come back.
Cejudo may be the greatest combat sports athlete of all time. He's a two-weight UFC world champion. He's an Olympic gold medalist in freestyle wrestling. What more do you want from Henry Cejudo? Fucking right, give him the title shot. He's Henry goddamn Cejudo. He's a legend. He's a legend. Completely underappreciated. I think Volkanovski is great, but right now Volkanovski is lacking opponents. I think if you ask Volkanovski, he'd say, yeah, give me Cejudo. Give me that fight.
Yeah,
I mean, Cejudo's a name. It would be a big fight. I don't know why Dana White doesn't want to do it. I mean, I do know why Dana White doesn't want to do it, because he's Dana and he hates when you go out on top. That's how he treated George. Like, he doesn't want Cejudo to go out and retire with another one of his championships. Volkanovski should demand Cejudo to Dana White, because it's clear that Dana White is not giving Cejudo the fight because he doesn't believe in Volkanovski.
Look, it's going to be a money fight, that's for sure. So if it generates bucks, Dana White will think about it. That's why, like, when he was pressed yesterday, he says, he'll take it into consideration. That's what it comes down to. He looks at the bottom line, the bucks. And you know what? Cejudo and Volkanovski, that'll deliver. That'll bring in, like, views on the pay-per-view card. It'll bring in a lot of people. A lot of people expect Cejudo to win this fight. I personally don't think he'll do it. I mean, you've got Ali Abdelaziz there going crazy on Twitter, like, hammering Gadana and whatnot, and saying, you know what? No, this is not a good fight for the champ. Cejudo's gonna kill him, this and that, do it, man. Just do it. It's something that Dana probably will end up doing. But you know what? Is it fair for everybody else? Probably not. But the bottom line is that it's bucks over anything else, man. That's what it's all about. It's become entertainment.
Life ain't fair, bro.
Volkanovski's taken out the best guys in the division. There's nobody else. You want it to be fair, beat Max Holloway or Brian Ortega. If you can't beat those guys, you have no business fighting Volkanovski. And those guys can't beat Volkanovski. So what the fuck else is he supposed to do? Fair. Fuck fair.
I'll tell you what. After Holloway and Ortega, that division's a little thin, man. Yeah, Rodriguez is a nice fighter, Chan Sung Jung. But, I mean, I don't consider these guys, like, elite, man.
Nope.
I consider Cejudo to be elite, even though it's two divisions, like, one division lower and two divisions lower. I'd like to see Cejudo go up to all the way to 145. So that's much more appealing than anything they could offer me at featherweight.
Yep, I agree 100%. I think that's the fight to make. Hopefully the UFC does it. Tyson Fury's fighting Deontay Wilder for a third time. The first time, I think it was a draw, right? The last time Fury knocked him out. Yeah, it was a draw that Fury really should have won. Like, Fury won the fight as far as I was concerned on points, but they scored a draw.
Wilder knocked him down twice, I think. So plus that Undertaker getting up of Fury, but that was a great fight. Man.
Yeah. The last one was a total domination by Fury. He knocked out Deontay Wilder, and I think this fight is going to be more of the same.
That's right.
I think Fury's going to smash Deontay Wilder. Wilder's made a million different excuses as to why he lost that last fight, and, he got
knocked down twice. What excuse can you make, man?
It was a lot. There was a lot of excuses, including saying his own corner maybe poisoned him. Like, all sorts of crazy shit was going on there.
What?
Yeah, so I think that
his
fight
ring
fucked his head
entrance
up.
was too heavy.
Yeah,
like
his gear
costume.
was too heavy.
Voodoo chicken?
Yeah, there was all sorts of weird stuff going on there with Wilder, making all sorts of excuses after the fight, and that doesn't seem to me like a guy who's recognized what happened in the fight and is going to, rectify that situation in training camp. It seems like a guy who thinks, well, if I don't wear a heavy costume to come to the ring, I'll win this fight for sure. And I don't necessarily think that's how it's going to go down. I've got Tyson Fury in a major, major way here on Saturday. You got to go with Fury. Fury by knockout too, right? What's the odds on that?
I don't know, man, but I think he's going to dominate. I remember Wilder's look from the last fight, like he just had like a look of a guy that was like, oh, I'm in trouble here, and Fury just like destroyed him. So when I see a domination like that, and like you said, the first fight Fury was pretty much winning, other than the 2 knockdowns. So I think it's clear that Fury is the better boxer. So Wilder always has that punching chance, but I'll go with Fury.
I got Tyson Fury. He is the favorite right now in the fight, minus 286. Wilder plus 200, the dog. Fury by knockout, minus 112. Fury by decision, plus 250. Might go there.
Yeah.
Not bad there.
It might go there.
Yeah, I've got Fury for sure. I think it's unanimous here. We all have Fury. Aspen Ladd, who failed to make weight last week for a 135 fight, is going to be fighting Norma Dumont, replacing Holly Holm, who got hurt, and that's going to be next weekend. Aspen Ladd was supposed to fight last weekend, couldn't make weight, and now next weekend she's going to be back, but at a higher weight at 145 in a main event for another UFC Vegas card next weekend. So it'll be Ladd versus Dumont, not Holm versus Dumont. Holly Holm out with an injury there. And apparently Jorge Masvidal really wants to fight, but Leon Edwards has turned the fight down. There was rumors that fight was going to happen sometime in 2022, but apparently Leon Edwards doesn't want that fight, and he's waiting for the winner of Covington and Usman, and hopefully getting the title shot. And that's what Leon Edwards is hoping for, that he will get the winner and he'll get the title shot. But apparently the UFC wanted to have him fight Masvidal, and Leon Edwards was not that interested, which, I don't know, man. Seems like a good fight for Leon Edwards. Make some money. Avenge that embarrassing moment when he punched you backstage.
True.
I don't know. Masvidal, yeah. Angelo says he's busy with AEW. Masvidal's been in AEW. He's going to be ringside with Dan Lambert for a big match set up. It's going to be Chris Jericho, Jake Hager, and Sammy Guevara versus Scorpio Sky, Ethan Page, and former UFC heavyweight champion Junior Dos Santos, making his pro wrestling debut on October the 15th, I think, next Friday in Miami for AEW Rampage. Junior Dos Santos is a pro wrestler now. He's in AEW, and he's going to wrestle Chris Jericho in a 6-man tag next week. Paige Van Zandt is in AEW, too. A lot of people are in AEW. Paige Van Zandt and her husband, Austin Vanderford, who's a Bellator fighter. They're all showing up with Junior Dos Santos and a bunch of guys. Dan Lambert from the American Top Team is like a manager in AEW. And he brings like a crew of MMA fighters with him, including Masvidal. Masvidal's going to be on the show, too, from Miami.
Masvidal gave the knee to Jericho, and I was like, yeah, Jericho's always a great seller, man. That was a nice little moment.
Yeah. It was really weird with Junior Dos Santos last night. Jericho started punching him, like he punched him a couple times, and then he stopped punching him, and then that's when Dos Santos took the bump, and it was very strange. Dos Santos, like he's clearly not a wrestler. It was like punch, and then like come back, and then Dos Santos went, oh, and like he fell down and rolled out of the ring,
like
and I'm
Flair.
like, what?
Felt like Flair. It would take a second.
Yeah, exactly. It looked horrible. It looked so bad.
You got stunned.
And it makes you think, like, I don't know if Junior Dos Santos is going to be so good at this wrestling thing, but hey, he's going to try it, so we'll see.
I don't know how his knees are going to do it, but anyways, like, all the best to these guys, man. Good for them. But I'm surprised you're not coming up with something else, man. The Bellator fight last week, man. Lima against MVP.
Yeah, MVP won a decision, right? It was controversial. Yeah. I didn't actually...
Man, big time.
Did I see the fight? I don't remember.
Bullshit.
When was that? It was in the afternoon.
Look,
I think I missed it.
Lima won that fight. Yeah, and here we are 1-1, and you know what? He won it. He won it, in my opinion. A lot of people thought the same thing. But hey, listen, man, if you're going to turn it into like that boxing kind of feel where it always ends up in a draw or something like that, you're going to take away from the sport. And I love Bellator. Bellator is great. Scott Coker is an awesome guy. But you know what? Sometimes.
How do you know he's an awesome guy?
I've heard him a lot of times in interviews. He seems like a really cool guy, man.
And let's not talk shit about him. He seems nice in interviews.
Yeah.
Harvey Weinstein seemed nice in interviews. Jeffrey Epstein seemed nice in interviews. You fuck. What are you talking about?
Well, Well,
He's a
listen,
great
why you
guy.
have to go down that road, man? Why do you
just
got to go
saying.
down that road, man?
You're
You
saying-
can be listening to
you're
us
saying
tonight,
he's
and now
a
you just
good
blew our
guy.
chances.
I've met Scott
Yeah,
Coker
he's a
and
good
I've
guy.
talked to him, and he seems all right. I like Dana White
There you
better.
go.
I think
For the
Dana's
love of
nicer.
God.
I think Dana's a better guy. I'm Dana White's
Really?
#1 fan.
Wow.
Yeah, Dana's way nicer to me than Scott Coker was. Scott Coker was kind of big-timey. Dana White is like a man of the people. Every interaction I've ever had with Dana White, and I've had several, always good. Dana's always been really good to me, always respectful, always cool. I love Dana White. All right?
So listen,
Scott
Johnny
Coker's
North.
all right,
Johnny North is
Scott Coker's cool and all,
Listen,
but
if-
he's no Dana White. I'm telling you that much.
okay.
Dana's
So
the man.
listen, if Johnny's listening, Johnny, if you're listening, edit this part because I'm sending it to Dana White. So just capture this whole thing that Dave
Yeah,
said, and
I love Dana White.
hopefully Dana will listen to us.
You're the
There you
best,
go,
Dana.
bud.
Hey, I know you love Bellator because in 2 weeks, AJ, Bellator is going to Moscow. Do you know why?
What? No.
You don't know what their main event is in
Why?
Moscow? Timothy Johnson.
Oh, with Fedor, yes.
Yeah. 2 weeks. 2 weeks to
That's
Fedor.
gonna be that's
All right,
gonna
2
be
weeks
crazy,
from Saturday. They're going to
Fedor,
Moscow.
man.
Fedor's fighting again. Hey, Fred, you going to pick Fedor to win or the other guy?
Fedor.
It doesn't
What?
matter who the other guy
It's
is.
fixed, man.
Oh, yeah, it's in Russia. You're right. It's probably fixed. I hope it's fixed. for
Listen, do you
Fedor's
really
sake.
think he'd be fixed?
Remember
Do you
that
think he needs it to
Maldonado
be
fight?
fixed?
Yeah. Fedor was like dead in that fight. The referee's like, nah, he's fine. Let him keep fighting. And then the fight ends like, Fedor wins by decision. You're
Give
like,
him the
what?
decision.
What? That was fucked. Even that, they had to they came back later on and they're like, yeah, it was a draw. Sorry. It's like, no, it wasn't a draw. Maldonado clearly won. No. What are you talking about?
You don't know where you saw that.
Yeah,
You don't know. You don't know. You don't know nothing about MMA.
Yeah, shut up.
Go back. Go back to your country.
Yeah. So,
But listen, man.
Yeah, that happened.
Listen, it's Fedor, man. How can you go against Fedor, regardless?
Because,
It's hard, man. It's hard.
pretty
How old is he
not,
now, Fedor?
Like 45.
What's he hanging? Every time Are you sure?
Yeah.
We always think he's so much older than he really is.
No, he's like
And then we
45.
find out he's still in his 30s.
No, that's crazy.
Let me check. I want to check.
He
What's
can't
Fedor?
Born a
still
year
be-
before me.
He can't still be in his 30s because I know he's older than me,
Fedor.
and I'm.
No, he is 45.
He's 45.
He's
That's what I said.
45. Yeah,
That's what I'm saying. He's like way
always
past his
been this-
prime. I love Fedor, but he's not the same.
So he's like the last prime emperor, or the.
I don't know. He did win his last fight though. He knocked out Rampage. Remember how fat Rampage was in that fight? That was crazy.
Oof. Rampage didn't look too good, man.
No,
too
I
many
think that
Cheetos
was
coming into that fight.
Rampage's last fight ever. I don't think Rampage will ever fight again after that. I don't think we've ever really seen Rampage. I don't think I've seen Rampage in public since that fight. Like, next time you see
Didn't he
Rampage,
knock him
he's
out?
going to be like 600 pounds. You're like, oh my God, that's Rampage? I'm telling you. You're going to see Rampage, you're like, that's not Rampage. No, it is. No, that's that fucking sumo fighter. No, that's Rampage. That's what happened to him. All right, guys. I'm done. Angelo and Patrick, you are the Super Chat leaders, co-leaders. Thank you, guys. Like the video. Subscribe to the channel. Do the things, okay? Do the goddamn things.
Just do it, man. Just do it. And yeah.
I'm going to be back tomorrow night with Johnny North after SmackDown. We're going to talk about SmackDown. And then we'll
Nice.
also talk about Rampage. AEW Rampage, not Rampage Jackson. We'll talk about AEW Rampage because that show will be airing while we're on tomorrow. So we'll watch it. I think Jade Cargill's wrestling, so that's always exciting. I love Jade Cargill. All right? Rampage. CM Punk's wrestling tomorrow night, too. He's wrestling Daniel
CM
Garcia.
Punk. I like that guy.
There you go.
I hope
So
CM Punk beats him, man.
He definitely will. So that'll be tomorrow night, AEW Rampage. Thank you, Angelo, dropping the super chat there. Did we hear the sound effect? Did that hit yet? If it didn't,
No, it didn't, man.
any minute now.
Come on, man.
Super chat. There it is.
There we go.
Thank you, Angelo. You are the sole super chat leader. You just took it from Patrick with that little super chat there. Thank you, buddy. Thank you, Patrick. Thank you, everybody, for watching the show. Shout out to Headstrom Bacon. Enjoy Montreal, Headstrom Bacon. I hope you are enjoying the city, enjoying
he's
your
in
time
Montreal.
here. Shout out to Brooklyn
Chalet
Lizard.
Barbecue.
All right. Shout out to Brooklyn
Well, you
Lizard.
gotta go to Chalet.
Chalet Barbecue is good chicken. Angelo,
man.
and all the rest. Brian Firth as well. I think I saw Lauren Cronish. All right. So thank you,
Price
everybody.
AJ didn't say anything about Carey Price. All right, let's finish it on that.
What's the story
I was
there?
actually gonna say, well, Carey Price has some kind of like illness that like is sort of like under wraps. Apparently, has some neurological issues and whatnot. So I don't think he's gonna be playing with the Canadians. That's apparently what they're saying.
I thought it was
but
like a mental health thing. You're saying neurological, like it's he's got like a brain tumor, but I thought it was a.
No, I hope not. Knock on wood, Dave. What's the matter with you?
Well, no,
Listen,
because when you say neurological, it seems like it's something else, but it's like a mental health thing or possibly substance.
Yeah, maybe
he's entering some sort of
substance.
facility, right, to get help for something.
Crack cocaine. Who knows, man? I don't know. John Jones style.
Stop
we
speculating.
don't know.
Stop speculating.
I'm not
AJ has no
speculating. I'm
idea.
just saying.
You kind of are. So what happened?
I tried to go inside.
He's not playing.
No, he's not playing, man. He's not playing for the first game of the season. I don't know how long he's going to be out, but I wish my intern was here, little Noah, and he can fill me in. But a lot of shit's happened, man. Like I was going to say, like even the plane that went down in Montreal, man. A lot of stuff happened. Actually, it was a family member of the AJs. You didn't know that, eh?
Shout out to Patrick C. Hamilton dropping the super chat. He is now the super chat leader. Wow, Angelo was going to run away with it there, but Patrick drops
Dave,
one,
you didn't bet?
steals it. What happened?
You didn't hear about the plane that went down near Oshiaga last week with the banner that says, "Will you marry me?"
No.
How do you? Are you joking?
So it's a family
this
member.
Shit happens
of
in
yours,
Montreal.
What do I
Yeah.
From what I read, it's like he like I'm sorry, but he went like too slow, which caused him to not be able to fly no more.
Listen, this is the second time he's crashed. The first time he's crashed was in, I think it was 2006, somewhere around there. Remember the plane that landed on Park Avenue near Mount Royal? Yeah, that was him. He survived that one, and
Really?
and then he crashed again. Yeah.
Who is this guy to you?
I'll tell you, he's a family member.
Is he okay?
But he
No.
survived, but unfortunately the passenger that was with him didn't. But yeah, you didn't
rest
hear
in
about that,
peace.
Dave. How can you not know this shit in Montreal? You got John Hestrom that's here in Montreal. You got to inform him with all the stuff that happens here.
I mean, a plane,
Obviously,
like a two-passenger
crashed
plane
in-
that was
in El
carrying a
Saint-Alain.
banner crashing somewhere. I don't know why that's not on my radar because, I don't know anybody that was in the plane. And I don't really give a shit. What do I
Don't
need
you
to
live
know
in
that
Montreal,
for?
Dave?
Yeah, but what do I care about?
Yeah,
fucking
like,
planes
seriously,
crashing?
Dave.
Was it a
Dave is
terrorist
you know why,
attack?
Dave?
No. So what the fuck do I need to care about it?
Dave
cares?
doesn't care about anything on the news except for the Yankees going down. That's
Yeah.
it. That's okay. Yankees are gone. We'll wait till next year. Keep up to date.
I'll tell you
what's
what I
happening,
care
Dave.
about. I'll tell you what I care about. There's the new Metroid Amiibo releasing tomorrow, and I gotta go to various EB games and Toys R Us's to fucking find them.
Coming on the South Shore?
That's what I'm not going to South Shore. I'll probably go to DeCarry, I think. But that's what I'm doing.
So let's go to
okay?
Orange Julep. Let's do an Orange Julep run,
At
man.
10 a.m.? Not really.
Not 10 a.m. at night.
Okay,
Angelo,
like,
meet us.
I don't give a shit about things like that, all right? I concern myself with the things that are important to me, and then things outside of that bubble. Okay? Angelo Cataconis dropping a super chat. He says, Price has entered into a wellness program. He won't be playing for a minimum of 30 days. That's vague. Wellness program? What does that mean?
Privacy, man.
Oh, we're
Still
not supposed to
exists,
know?
man. It still exists.
Still, not for long, but it
I have a
still
question.
exists. You're right, Freddie.
I have a question. I'm going to ask an insensitive question right now, okay? You ready?
Uh-oh. No, I can't.
When
I
does the
can't believe
season
this is
start?
happening.
When does the season start?
I think soon.
It's kind of bad timing, no?
Yeah.
Isn't he
It
like
is
the
bad
star
timing,
player?
actually.
Don't they need him like real bad?
Yeah, he's a
He
starting
couldn't
Pay him like
goaltender.
$10
He's
million a
for
year.
sure.
I guess there was some sort
But
of
that's
breaking
not popular,
point.
Dave, these days, man. That's
There-
like
no,
you're,
there
you're
must
like
have been.
being insensitive right now.
Yeah.
You're not being, like woke 2021. This is not very woke, man, Dave. You should change maybe your tune here.
I'm just
Being
saying.
critical like that, man.
I'm just saying to me, like, you know, if you have to, like, I don't know, there must have been some sort of breaking point. I'm just trying to figure out what's going on there.
Well,
like, there must have been some
Shaquille
sort
O'Neal?
of incident. Something must have happened, right? Like, to me, if you have, like, something that you got to deal with, you got an injury, you have to have surgery, you have it in the off season, and so you don't, you know, impede on
Shaquille
your
O'Neal
season.
once got a surgery at the beginning of a season, and he said, I get hurt on company time, I get fixed on company time. So, you know, maybe he just wanted to have a vacation, which everybody's entitled to. I'm with you, Carrie, man. Enjoy your vacation. Get well on company time. Take some of that money from the Canadians.
Yeah.
The fans will get over it.
I suppose.
Well, they won't get over it if they don't make it into the playoffs. That I'll tell you that much, Freddie. Like, that's the thing, man. Like, everything is nice and okay till we don't make the playoffs.
Oh, Carrie, we love you. Get better, Carrie. By the end of the season, they don't make the playoffs. That fucking guy, Carrie, prays.
Trade him. Trade him for 2 hockey pucks and a stick.
Yeah.
That's it. You know, that's what's going to happen. I know Montreal fans, man. I've been doing this shit for, like, the longest time. I've been to 2 Stanley Cup parades. Actually, 3. I was, like, really, really small. But the thing is that,
So
you know,
old.
like, Montreal fans, man, like, sometimes, like, you know, we're turncoats. We're turncoats, you know?
Here's a great thing about
I
me.
can say that,
I'm
man.
not a fan, and I don't give a shit whatsoever. So he could be in rehab. He could have a wellness issue. He could play hockey and be really good. He could play hockey and be really bad. I don't give a solitary shit what he does.
Listen, think about this. Back in the 70s and really the 70s of, like, Montreal Canadiens hockey.
Man, I
mean,
thought this
these guys
show
were
was
probably
over, man.
starting
What did I do?
Yeah,
What did I
you
talk
fucked
about?
up, Fred.
They were,
All right, the
listen,
show's over. I'm
listen.
done. I don't
Wait,
care
wait,
about
let
this.
me finish.
I don't
Let me
care
talk
about
eating
hockey.
cocaine and smoking cigarettes on the bench. Okay, forget it. The 70s, man. Great times. Guy Lafleur. You know what I'm talking about.
If you're like near an EB Games tomorrow, pick up the Metroid 2-pack amiibo for me and let me know you got it, okay? Thank you. All right, that's it. I'll see y'all later. I'll be back tomorrow.
Mackenzie.
I'll be back tomorrow, but then I'm taking the weekend off, okay? God damn it. I'll be back tomorrow, though, with Johnny, and we'll talk about pro wrestling, okay? Thanks, everybody.
Okay.
Who's the super chat leader, I should say?
Let's go.
I should say.
Patrick.
No, it's Angelo. Angelo took over. It was Patrick,
sorry,
but then
Angelo.
Angelo came back. Thank you, Patrick. Thank you, Angelo. Nice little battle there. Thank you, guys. See you tomorrow.